Hey guys, welcome back to the shop. Welcome back to Work Guitars. It's good to talk to you again. So we've gotten to the point in the Nomad build. For you guys who have been following along with the Nomad build, we have the front, the colors locked in, number of coats of lacquer on there. I forgot how many coats of lacquer, probably about 8, I think. And we got the headstock done, and I got the edges scraped, as you can see, and the back of the headstock. And I like to lacquer the back of the headstock because that's how I put my signature on with the decal and with the numbering system that I use that also says Made in USA underneath. This is number 056, and as you can see, the back is still raw. And you may be wondering, well, why haven't I put any lacquer on this? There's no filler, no lacquer, because this is just going to be oil. Jim Bob wants the neck to be oil and the body to be oil, and he doesn't care about the grain fill. He likes the way wood looks natural, so we're just going to put a number of coats of oil on here until I feel like it's got enough, on there to protect it. And he feels like it's just going to get beat up, scratched up anyway, in the back, and he likes the oiled neck, and so that's what we're going to do. But what I still need to do is, as you can see, when you do this type of thing with dye stain, you can see how it bleeds through on the edges. Even though I try to very carefully tape everything off, and I try not to use too much dye stain around the outside edges, it still tends to do that. And it's actually pretty tough to get off in some places. I've had some trouble with it really getting down into the end grain in places on guitars, and making it very difficult to get the clean, scraped look binding that you're going for on a lot of the guitars that we do. So I'm still trying to figure out exactly how to do that without having bleed through. And really the only thing I can come up with is just to always just spray the sunburst instead of trying to do it with a hand rub dye. I'm a little mixed feelings on that. I like spraying the burst anyway. I always come back and spray over top of the first coat of dye anyway. But it was tough. Up in this area here where there's end grain like this area here, it's very difficult to get all of the dye out of that area right there. You have to really work at it. And I haven't come up with a good way to stop that from happening. I don't think there is a way to stop that from happening. But we're just going to go for it. Just like I always do on all guitars, and see if we can make it work. If it bled through a little bit, we'll try to keep cutting until we get it right, and I really don't know any other way to get it done. So what I need to do today is go ahead and sand on this guitar, sand this face, this edge. This edge didn't do so bad, and I've already been sanding on it some, so I'm going to sand on this some with a oscillating sander and see how that does, and we'll see. All right, so that's where we're at. So let's get to work. Thanks for coming back. I tell you what, hold on before we get going. Before I get going on this, let me show you something. The Steve Budiweski build. We got that fretboard done. That's turned out pretty good. I like the way that looks. We got your hoof prints and the 8 points on a skull. That turned out really well, and I still need to obviously sand the back and do the rest of the headstock, but that's in there. Fret's still got to go on, all that. There's still some work left to do on this neck, without a doubt. But we've made a big leap forward. I took a few days off, went on vacation, so now I got to get back in here, get my head back into the builds, and get this done. Even though I love doing this, you got to get away from here every now and then and go do other things. So we went camping, me and the wife. We had a great time, caught some fish, and now it's back to the guitars and get these things done and get them out there and get them into people's hands. And they've been very patient, and so now I got to get back at it. So let me do that. I'll be right back. And I do have one more. I forgot about this one. This is a build that will be for sale. 5-string Evo bass, I call this. It'll have a Music Man pickup with active electronics. Obviously, I haven't done the headstock yet. And we just did a very simple abalone inlay down in the lower side of the fretboard. And I let this little crown hang down over the edge of the bolt-on neck. And I think that looks pretty cool. Maybe someday I'll do a little inlay on these, see how well this is accepted, you know, by guys. And mahogany body, bolt-on neck, nice looking neck. But as this progresses, I'll show it to you. Still have to do some carving on the neck and that type of thing. So yeah, this is coming along good. This will be for sale, like I said. If you guys are interested or know someone who is into a 5-string bass, let me know. Okay, but getting back on this. Let's do some sanding on this thing and see if we can get it right. All right? I'll get you over a little closer so you can see what we're doing, and we'll go from there. Hold on 1 minute. I'll be right back. Forgot something. Dust collection. And a dust mask. Always wear your dust mask. Okay, here we go. That's working pretty good. A little tough spot right there. I'll get that with the oscillating spindle sander. But that worked well there on that end. You can see. Can you see that? I never know what you can see because I need a monitor. There you go. See, that worked real well on that end like that. Okay. And this one here is the worst one. We'll see what we can do with this. This one's going to be a little tougher. I got to rearrange some things. Let me back you back up. Okay, that looks like that's doing the trick. Hold on, let me move you around here a little bit. So that looks like that's working, except for this little area in here, obviously where the sander won't go quite down there. I'll use the oscillating spindle sander there and probably here. I'm going to try just scraping it with a razor blade a little bit, see how that does. Actually, I'll just use a scraper. And we'll see how that does. That seems to be getting, there's still some blue dye left on the edges. But this looks like this is working pretty good here. Okay, so I'm going to use the oscillating spindle sander to get the rest of the little bit that's left in the tight curves. I've already done some of that. I actually forgot to hit the video record button. Well, let me show you what I was doing. When I moved the camera, I forgot to hit record again. Rookie mistake. That's all right. So what I'm doing is just taking the oscillating spindle sander. I got a 240 grit drum, sanding drum. Yes, sleeve. Sanding sleeve is what I was trying to come up with for the drum. And what I'm doing is I'm just getting inside here, like in this area here, right, where there's a little bit of stain left. As you can see, I got most of the edges really well already. So this is just about ready. Now I got to come back. One thing about oscillating spindle sander, because it's moving up and down, it'll leave a swirl pattern in the edge. So you got to come back and hand sand all that out. But now that I've got all the blue stain off of the edge all the way around, I can hand sand all that edge now, and I can come back and scrape the edge to get that binding look that we're going for, right? So I'm just going to sand on this just a little bit more with this. Then I'm going to call it a day. We're going to just do a quick video. We'll come back later when we're putting oil on this and do another video here in a couple of days. Just getting back into the process of work. Got to get my mind back into building guitars and out of the great outdoors, because that's really one of my greatest loves, is just to be outside and be out there in the trees, man, you know, and doing some fishing, standing in the sunshine. So I just want to say before I go any further, though, thank you very much for subscribing, guys. Thank you for taking the time to watch these videos, and for commenting, and for being patient with the builds and all of that good stuff. And hit that like button, and thank you again for subscribing. All right, I'm going to make some noise. I'm going to get back into the safety gear here, make some noise, go around this guitar one more time. I see a couple little places that I missed. I'm just going to go ahead and sign off right now, and we'll fade out into the distance. And just tell you again, thank you so much. Hit that like button, okay? And tell your friends if they're into building stuff, okay? Thank you very much. Let's get back into it.